Hello, you clicked on the video, you've seen the title, you know what this is. I see you, you little Harry Styles, sweet, loving, sweet creature, loving, sweet creature. There's going to be a lot of talking, so if you don't want that, click off the video. Don't waste your time. I'm telling you right now that this video is one big chaotic mess, so if you want to stay for that, then go ahead. This is a warning. This is my warning to you. This is gonna be a lot, but I'll try to summarize the whole process and hopefully it makes sense in the final cut. So to give the rundown, I was pretty optimistic at first. My yarn had just arrived. I have given in, and this is a lot of yarn, but I ordered the wrong color of yarn. Ooh, problem number one. And I have more yarn coming because, as you can see, there's a lot of orange. I thought this was red. Bitch, is you blind? And I was incredibly mistaken. So, of course, I had to make another order of yarn because how else would I finish the project, you know? So I went and ordered another batch of yarn, but I ordered from a different store, and it was a different kind of yarn, and it was a different thickness, and I knew this at the time. So really I was setting myself up for disaster. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but it kind of plays out in the end. You'll see. Yeah. I'll also probably be recreating the watermelon sugar top just because it's orange and I have too much orange. But yeah, let's get started. Here's a little fun fact. As I was crocheting, I was eating Fruit Loops, and you can see it from the clip. It's beside my bed, it's on the edge, and so I wanted to sneak in some footage of me crocheting, because, you know, vlogging, haha. So I go reach out for this camera, and then my foot hits my Fruit Loops, and my Fruit Loops spill all over my floor. So, another inconvenience. We love that. I did eat the Fruit Loops. We don't waste food here. No, no, no. So I started crocheting the squares, right? Yeah, fun. I'm crocheting and it's all going well. Or so I thought. It was all good until it wasn't, and this next clip explains it. You can see the frustration on my face, I think. Also, I don't mention this in that clip, the next clip. On top of my frustration, I have a lot of pain going on in my body. Like, I get this lump on my finger that people usually get from writing too much. And also, my thumb starts swelling up, so it's painful. It genuinely hurts to crochet. And on top of that, I'm experiencing bad headaches, bad back aches from sitting in the same position all day crocheting. So it's... And on top of that, I was mentally not in a good space. Go figure, I was not happy. As always, every single plan of mine can never go right. So I am currently in the process of making it. I'm done crocheting. Actually, you know what? I'm not done crocheting. I don't even know how many squares I need, but I am currently crocheting these ones. I really don't like this one, but this is how many I have. I think I have about 40 something. I think I need about 50 something. The yarn has been a bitch because I have so much yarn that I don't need. I bought the wrong size of yarn, and just a lot has not been going too well for me. We love that. I'm realizing I can't use the red yarn I ordered from the second batch for the squares because it would look kind of funky and not too good. It would stand out compared to the other squares, that's what I'm saying. I didn't really like how it looked in my head, so I dropped that idea. So I go and order more yarn, a third batch of yarn, whoop whoop. And this time from the same shop as the first order. So I'm sure that it will be fine. I can use it, but I'm pretty upset because well, I have all of this other yarn that I don't need. What am I gonna do with that? It's not like I'm gonna continue crocheting. I'm only really doing this for Harry Styles. So yeah, I'm thinking, why did I waste all this money on yarn that I'm not even gonna need or use? Keep that in mind. I was gonna make this video as like a come along with me, but I've been a wreck. Like, I'm just not okay. This whole process has me frazzled. I can't even function like a normal human being. I mean, when have I ever functioned as a normal human being? But right now, I just don't know what to do. These fucking squares have been a bitch to make. So much has gone wrong. I've had to buy so much yarn of the wrong kind. I've had to buy, I might even have to buy more yarn, but I've been making squares that are like not the same size, and it was really driving me nuts. So it took me really long to make these squares, because I kept doing them, then undoing them, then doing them again to like get them all like proportionate or whatever, until one day I just gave up. I just abandoned the cardigan project, and I ended up making the watermelon sugar top, which is also kind of too big for me, but honestly at this point I just don't care anymore. It's also two-toned. I don't know if you can tell. It's two-toned because I ran out of this orange and I only had this orange left. I don't really like this shade of orange. This is what I was going to use for the cardigan. Ended up not using it because I had this orange too. I thought it was kind of the perfect shade for the cardigan, so I got this done. So basically this is just me going crazy, once again putting myself in unnecessary stress. You know, when have I ever not done that to myself? You know what, it's okay. The moral of the story is that just don't have expectations. Don't have expectations, or have expectations but don't expect them to be met. Because, you know, we live in a world where we don't always know what's gonna happen. I mean, did anyone expect this pandemic? Of course not. But also kind of. Basically, this is just me like, getting worked up over squares. No, Harry Styles is the only man that isn't trash, but I'm starting to think different because I'm going crazy over this and it's all of Harry Styles' fault, and I hate you. I love you, Harry Styles, please. I don't even know what to say anymore. At this point, I've gotten the hang of crocheting the squares, so I don't really have any more problems with that. Like, after having my meltdown over yarn and hooks, I'm finally able to look at my situation from the outside and I see that it's not a big deal why I was getting upset, but it was at the time. It is valid. If you're feeling the same way, it's validated. Your feelings are validated. Don't let anyone invalidate how you feel, because they are real to you. I'm finally okay. I'm over it. Like, I'm over being over it. I'm over being over it. Fun. So yeah, I'm done making my squares because I have no more yarn left. The yarn that I intend on using on the project anyway. And I know that I have enough squares to start working on the back and front panel, but I get this gut feeling that I don't have enough for the sleeves. So I place the squares in as followed in the design, and I'm correct. I don't have enough squares to finish off the sleeves. I need about 4 or 5 more squares to make the sleeves. And with that, I go ahead and order more yarn. At this point, like, it didn't matter to me anymore. It kind of became a running joke between me and my mom, because every time I'd get a package, she'd be like, is that more yarn? I'd be like, yes, it's more yarn. Yeah, I'm a yarn hoarder. So yeah, big whoop, I ordered more yarn, and I've realized that there's no point anymore getting worked up over yarn, you know? So the update with my cardigan is I finished most of the squares. Finally, I bought more yarn. I bought more red and green because I need more squares for the sleeves. But I have my back part. So as I'm waiting for the next batch of yarn to arrive, I start piecing together the back and front panel. Woo woo. This part is fine. The sewing is fine. It's easy peasy, eggs and breezy. I don't know the right quote to that, so that's probably incorrect, but yeah, you get it. The sewing part, walk in the park. It was fine. No problems, no issues there. I've sewn these ones already. I just need to sew them all together. So then the last batch of yarn arrives and I start working on the squares just so I can get it over with. And so I finish the squares, and knowing that I don't have to crochet any more squares, I start working on the body part. Like, I'm done, at this point I'm done sewing together the front and back panel, but I wanted to sew it together so that I'd get the body part of the cardigan done, finished. So I set aside the sleeves because I'm thinking I'm gonna work on it after I work on the body. So I start crocheting the ribbings. And guess what? The useless yarn that I thought I wouldn't need was my saving grace in this very moment. And it was like, this is where it's all coming together, right? This is where I get that feeling of everything does happen for a reason. So the ribbings are red, and the yarn that I thought I didn't need was red. So, and I didn't have any more other yarn left, so obviously I was gonna use the useless yarn for my ribbings. And it was perfect. And I feel like because the yarn was thicker, it did a really good job at piecing the whole project together. Like, you can see it's thicker, but it also, like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it just brought in a really cool and unique vibe to the cardigan. I don't know. So yeah, I'm done crocheting the ribbing. So I sewed the ribbing to the designated panel, and easy. Again, walk in the park. I also do a back stitch just so it would look like the original one, even though it doesn't really look like the original, but I wanted to have that essence of the original design, and I think it turned out really well. I think it looks really, really cool, and I'm really proud of it. I should also probably mention that I did follow the original pattern. I just removed the last 2 rows. I'll explain it later in the end. Then I continue working on the body, and I start working on the 2 blue panels that go down the 2 front panels. 2 blue strips. I mean, I'm knitting this part just to see what it looks like, but if it doesn't look good, I'll probably just find another crochet stitch that I'll do, but hopefully this one looks good. I'm just so pumped to get this over with, and it's all finally coming together. And I decided to knit it instead of crochet just because I couldn't find a crochet stitch that looked the way I envisioned. So yeah, I knitted it, and it's the only part in the whole cardigan that is knitted. Everything else is crocheted. So I sew the 2 blue strips to the 2 front panels, and then it's go time from there. So then I sew the front panel to the back panel, leaving out the space for the neck, the collar, and the sleeves. So I finally work on the sleeves. Here we go. I start crocheting the cuffs, and then I sew together the patches, and then I close it all off to make a sleeve. So then the cuffs are sewn to the squares, and then I sew the sleeves to the body, and then I technically already have my cardigan. Woo. So then all that really needs to be done is the collar for the neck, and I'm kind of unsure of what to do because I do have enough of that useless yarn left, but I wasn't sure of how it would look or how big a collar the yarn I had left would make. So I just decided to crochet that long strip, this long strip, and then of course I measured it to the neck. So I tried it, I pinned it to the cardigan first to see how it would look, and it looked pretty good, so I just decided to go with it. So I sewed it on, and then I had my cardigan. I have this. 1, 2, 3. I'm done with my cardigan, and I'm so excited because it looks so cool, and I can't believe I made this. I made it, and it looks so cool, and I'll insert pictures right here. So yeah, this sewing was probably my favorite part just because it was the easiest. It probably took me 3 days to sew together the whole cardigan. So yeah, I'm finally free. I'm finally done. So yeah, it all worked out in the end, and I am so happy with the result. I did not think I would get here, but I did. And I am so proud of myself. Pat on my back. I did this. Me. I would recommend everyone and anyone to try this project just because it is very fulfilling in the end when you finish. But I do have some tips if you're like me and you're a beginner and you're thinking about doing this whole project. Number 1, preparedness. Be prepared. Be prepared to make mistakes. Be prepared for things to not go your way, but also be prepared mentally, physically, what else? Spiritually, I don't know. Materialistically, that's not a word. So research what you have to do, watch videos of other people making the cardigan. Go look at the original design provided by J.W. Anderson. The link will be below. But yeah, just do your research. Know your sizes or whatever. Know your measurements, what you're aiming for, if you're gonna follow like the original design or not. You can always alter whatever because it is for you, right? So just know what you're getting into and whatnot, and what materials you'll need, etc, etc. Also, this is the guide that I made that helped me. It is based off the original. It's pretty much the original, except that I removed the 2 rows on the side, as you can see. Instead of having the 6x4 panel on the front and back, it is now 4x4, and the only difference is that it's smaller, and then the sleeves are exactly the same. I didn't change anything there. So tip number 2, assuming that you don't have your yarn yet, buy a lot of yarn. Buy a lot of yarn. It's better to have a lot of it than short of it, and it's also better to have one whole bulk order, assuming that you're ordering it online and not physically because we're in a pandemic. Also, it's better for the environment, you know, one whole delivery, less carbon footprint compared to several different deliveries, you know, save the earth. Tip 3, and if you're like me and you're a beginner, you're new to crocheting, definitely practice your squares just so you get used to crocheting, so that you have an easier time getting consistent size in squares. Also count your loops, which is what I did, but I don't know, I do the same number of loops but they end up different in size, so I guess just pay attention to like the size instead of the amount of loops, because it can change from time to time. Tip 4, take your time, be easy on yourself. It is work, definitely work, and definitely a process. Take your time, don't rush, there's no need to rush. Part of my suffering was because I had planned to take only 2 weeks, but from the outcome of week 1 that I knew that wasn't gonna happen. You know, take your time. Put love into your work and your work will give you love back. I started August 14 and ended September 7, so it took me 25 days, a month technically, to work on this whole project. So, you know, just take it easy. No need to rush. Relax. Tip number 5. 5 is my favorite number because it's my birthday. Take a break and step away from the yarn and hook if you're feeling stressed. If you're feeling an overwhelming amount of stress and anxiety, I'm telling you, step away from the project if you are. It helps a lot. Treat you with kindness. I wasn't really treating myself with kindness, but make sure you treat you with kindness because you are people, hopefully. Unless there are robots watching, then treat robots with kindness too. Treat everyone with kindness. Lastly, tip number 6, have fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy it. That's me enjoying it. It'll be so worth it when you finish. So just enjoy it. You'll be really happy, I promise you, when you finish. It is an accomplishment when you're done. And who knows, maybe J.W. Anderson, the brand, will see and like and comment on your Instagram post of your recreation. So yeah, this was one hell of a journey, but I made it. We made it. You'll make it, or you made it if you already made it. It was definitely worth it because I'm so happy with this. Everything turned out really well. Everything went into place, and even though there were lots of complications, lots of trial and error, and lots of different yarn purchases and deliveries and packages, I'd say it was worth the ride. Woo. Most of all, I've gained so much respect to crochet and knit artists. There's so much work put into the work. So much respect gained to artists and designers. They put so much dedication to their craft, so it is nice to experience the work and labor myself. The brand J.W. Anderson actually saw my post on Instagram. They liked it and they commented, and honestly, I've never felt so validated in my life. It made me very happy. I knew then that it was all worth it. That was a sign from the gods. J.W. Anderson, love you guys. Sponsor me. If you want to send me the original one, I'd be down for that as well. Anyway, so this was kind of a lot, so if you made it this far, congratulations, here's a gold star. You deserve it. This was definitely an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Genuinely, I have no more words. I've run out of words to say, which means I should end this video. That's all for this video. All the links to the videos that helped me will be linked down in the description box. Special shout out to Anna something, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, I'm sorry, and to Britannicality, I think. Thank you to you two. Love you guys. Thank you for your work. The link to the original knitwork pattern design from J.W. Anderson will also be linked in the description box. And yeah, J.W. Anderson, love you guys. I'll also leave a link to the yarn I ordered. I live in the Philippines, so Shopee heard a lot from me. Shopee was like my BFF. We were seeing each other every day, pretty much. If you're curious of the price, this is how much it all totaled up to, plus my labor. Let's add like 200, so then it becomes 1,600, even though I would charge way more than 200 for labor, because this was a lot. Dude, I'm not pesos, by the way, not dollars. $200. Well, I would charge $200 for my labor, but yeah, I would sell it for $1,600 too if it were up to me. But I'm not doing this again. I'm not making this for anyone. I don't love anyone that much. I only love myself. I'd make one for Harry Styles, but Harry Styles doesn't need one. Yeah, $1,600 1,600 pesos. Yeah, I'm officially done. Sorry if this was a mess. Sorry if it doesn't make any sense. Please leave a like so I feel validated that this was a month in the making. So please leave a like. If you didn't like it, then leave a dislike, but please don't. That will hurt my feelings. And subscribe for more content. I don't usually make videos like this. I make covers, really bad covers. I like to ruin people's songs with my voice. So yeah, if you want to check those out, you can too. It was nice seeing you, and that's it. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.